evening and welcome to your Wednesday, April 10, 2024 edition of the Evening News. I am Jemima Holmes. Thanks for joining us. Let's take a look at some of the lead stories tonight. GDF to acquire 39.5 million euros ocean patrol vessel from French firm to strengthen maritime surveillance. French company interested in building modern shipyard in Guyana. Guyana well supported at UNSC meeting on Venezuela's aggression, says Foreign Secretary. April 19 for ruling on GTU'S challenge on deductions to teachers' salaries. And Traffic Department concerned as parents allowing children to use e-bikes. Now for the news in detail. As the Guyana government continues to invest heavily in the modernization of its army, a whopping 39.5 million euros agreement has been signed for the acquisition of an ocean patrol vessel, which will be used by the Coast Guard to strengthen maritime surveillance and protect the country's sea assets. Here is Trishal Sobers with our lead story tonight.
The Guyana Defense Force will soon acquire an ocean patrol vessel valued at Euro $39.5 million from OCEA, a French company that prides itself in being a leader in aluminum shipbuilding. A letter of intent for the procurement of the vessel was signed on Wednesday between the Guyana government and the company at the Finance Ministry's headquarters in Georgetown. The agreement covers the manufacturing of the vehicle, a comprehensive logistics package, and 5 years of maintenance of the product. Delivering remarks at the signing ceremony, Chief of Staff of the Guyana Defense Force, Brigadier Omar Khan, disclosed that this vessel will strengthen the capability of the Coast Guard to conduct surveillance and monitoring of the exclusive economic zone, respond to search and rescue missions, aid vessels in distress, and control the harmful risk of maritime pollution. Further, he explained that the vessel will play an integral role in the protection of Guyana's sea assets and sovereign territory.
The significance of Guyana partnering with France to embark on this project transcends borders, cultures, and languages, with one unifying purpose: building partnership and working together to ensure the region remains safe and secure from illicit maritime trade and other threats that threaten the peace and stability of the region.
Senior Finance Minister Dr. Ashni Singh said the vessel represents the latest installment of the realization of President Dr. Irfaan Ali's vision and commitment to ensure Guyana has a modern army. Only recently, Indian firm Hindustan Aeronautics Limited, as part of the line of credit of the Guyana government of India, had extended to Guyana, delivered two Dornier 228 planes to the GDF. The planes were acquired to the tune of US $23.27 million. Meanwhile, the finance minister has since expressed that this signing represents a special relationship that exists between Guyana and France, and he hinted at continued cooperation between the two countries in the area of defense.
It constitutes a further deepening of that relationship, including beyond economic cooperation, and we are discussing several other economic cooperation initiatives with the embassy and with Pierre Zontenac from the French Treasury, beyond economic cooperation in the realms of defense and operational partnerships on the security side.
Trishal Sobers, Evening News.
Trishal Sobers joins us again to report that the same French firm, OCEA SA, is actively exploring the possibility of establishing a modern maintenance shipyard in Georgetown. Here are the details.
OCEA designs and manufactures maritime vessels, as well as patrol boats, passenger cruise environmental ships, motor yachts, tank ends, floating pontoons, and customized aluminum structures. The firm serves customers in France, French Guyana, Suriname, and Guyana. OCEA's presence in Guyana was first established in 2014. However, serious discussions between the firm and the Guyana government commenced in 2020. It was on Wednesday, during the signing of the agreement between the firm and the Guyana government for the acquisition of an ocean patrol vessel, that a company representative signaled interest in establishing the shipyard. Yergo Hernandez said the yard will offer regular vessel maintenance services, timely repairs to help prevent accidents, and ensure crews, cargo, and the environment are safe.
The possibility of OCEA investing in a maintenance shipyard in Guyana in the future makes sense. Such an investment would not only benefit your nation, but also contribute to regional maritime development. I hope we can jointly work towards this objective.
Senior Finance Minister Dr. Ashley Singh noted that an endeavor of this magnitude would create engineering employment opportunities for Guyanese and enable synergy in vessel maintenance between Guyana and neighboring countries.
So I would encourage you to explore, to continue to explore this option, because we anticipate that the opportunity not only to serve your Guyanese clientele, but the opportunity to serve the sub-region will present itself very effectively in Georgetown.
Trishelle Sobers, Evening News.
The recent closed-door United Nations Security Council meeting on Venezuela's escalating aggression against Guyana, despite both countries agreeing to avoid actions that can exacerbate the border controversy, resulted in much support being expressed for Guyana. Let's find out more from Gerald Bryan.
The United Nations Security Council, UNSC, met on Tuesday to discuss the escalating tensions in the Guyana-Venezuela border controversy. The meeting was called to order at the request of Guyana after President Dr. Irfaan Ali brought to the Council's attention Venezuela's continued provocations. In a brief interview with this newscast following the meeting, Foreign Secretary Robert Prasad noted that Guyana's position was well supported by the UNSC members.
Guyana's position was well supported and understood by the entire Council.
According to the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, Guyana's permanent UN representative, Caroline Rodriguez-Burkett, made a presentation to the Council at the meeting. The diplomat listed all of the actions Venezuela has taken to threaten peace and breach international law. She also reminded of the Argyle Declaration for Peace, which both countries signed until last year. Further, Rodriguez-Burkett reminded the Council, of which Guyana is a non-permanent member, of its responsibility to ensure the rule of law and adherence to the UN Charter. She also called on the Council to impress on Venezuela the need to be responsible and act within the confines of the 1966 Geneva Agreement. This newscast was reliably informed that Venezuela's representative to the UN, Samuel Moncado Acosta, delivered remarks in which he ruled out any plans by Venezuela to occupy Guyana's Essequibo. The United Kingdom, a permanent member of the UNSC, meanwhile issued a statement on X, formerly known as Twitter, in which it rejected any unilateral actions by Venezuela to disrupt peace in the region. Further, the UK urged those with influence on Venezuela to discourage any further provocative actions. Venezuela has been widely condemned for recently promulgating a law for the defense of Essequibo in its National Assembly, which would infringe on Guyana's sovereignty if acted upon. Gerald Bryan, The Evening News.
We now hear from Vanu Manikchand that the High Court will be handing down its decision on the legal proceedings filed by the Guyana Teachers Union, which is seeking to reverse the government's decision to cut the pay of those teachers who were on a 5-week strike and stop deducting dues from teachers' salaries to be remitted to the union. Let's have a look.
High Court Judge Justice Sandil Kisoon is expected to deliver his ruling on Friday, April 19, on the Guyana Teachers Union challenge against the government. This was after he heard submissions on Wednesday from the lawyers representing the GTU, the Guyana Trades Union Congress, and the state. Attorney General Anil Nandal contended that the union's case is defective, arguing that Guyana's constitution only caters for the freedom to strike, not the right to strike. Hence, teachers cannot be paid for the 5 weeks that they did not show up for work. Attorneys Darren Wade and Roysdale Ford maintained that the no work, no pay policy did not apply since government failed to engage the union in collective bargaining, thus creating the conditions for industrial actions to be taken. They pointed to sections of the Constitution that allow freedom to strike, which they argue is supported by international conventions that caters for the right to strike. But this was rejected by A.G. Nandal.
How can you advocate that you have a right to pay when you have not worked? Because if you are to be paid for service not rendered, then you are compelling the employer to to give you his property for which he has received no compensation and no reward. So that's the first, constitutionally, the concept can't fly. Secondly, labor, wages is defined in the Labor Act. It is monies paid for work done or to be done. So how can you not do work and expect to get paid? I also examined other parts of the Constitution which they relied upon to show that no international treaty that we have signed at the ILO or anywhere else has conferred a right on a worker to get paid for work not done during strike.
Speaking with reporters after the court hearing, Nandlal argued that this could have far-reaching consequences in the future.
Ruling that a worker is entitled to salary and wages when they have not performed the work, that will have serious implications in this country and in every part of the world. There is no part of the world. You hear Mr. Ford, he went to India, he went all over the place, and just telling that is not a position in India. Plus, India has different legislation, you better consider that. But you look at the whole of the continent of Africa, you look at North America, you look at the Caribbean, the whole Commonwealth. There is no country that has a law that says workers can get paid for work not done. That is why, as the judge said from the bench, when you do the resumption, the terms of resumption, they always speak to whether the employer will agree to pay for the days that work were not done. There has to be an agreement. There has to be an agreement. You can't impose that on a worker, on an employer.
On the issue of deducting union dues from teachers' salary, the Attorney General posited that this is a voluntary service offered by the government as a policy matter, and the separation of powers does not allow the court to intervene.
Anything that is voluntary to be done can be terminated voluntarily, and the decision to do so is an executive decision. The same way that the court have repeatedly said in cases filed by very Roysdale Ford that in relation to parliamentary business that the court can't inquire into the business of the parliament. Similarly, the court can't inquire into the matters that are purely executive matters. These are beyond judicial review. If there is a decision that is wrong and it's part of executive policy, well then the executive pays for that at election time. That's how the democratic process works. So this termination of union dues has they can't challenge that. And even if they challenge that, we have given a number of cases to show that there is no legitimate expectation for the government to continue paying.
Reporting for the Evening News, Fanu Manakchan.
The Guyana Police Force is pleading with parents to discontinue the practice of allowing their underage children to utilize electric bikes, noting that not only is it illegal, but it also puts their children's lives at risk. Find out more in this Trishul Sobers report.
During a recent broadcast of the televised program Road Safety and You, the Guyana National Road Safety Council, GNRSC, along with Region 3 divisional officers, reported an increase in the use of e-bikes by children under 16 years. Not only is it illegal for persons under 16 years to operate these vehicles, it also puts their lives at risk since children are often uneducated about the rules of the road. It was disclosed that the regional division is engaging parents to rectify the issue. According to the chairman of the GNRSC, Earl Lambert, the matter has become an issue of public security.
Yes, these electric cycles are economical in a sense that it gets you from point A to point B within a reasonable time. But one of the most important things is knowing to use it on the road, because by itself it's a vehicle. And if you don't know to ride, you don't have experience in how to use the road, putting a child on one of those bikes is actually putting the child's life at risk.
The Guyana Police Force continues to educate road users about the amendments made to the Motor Vehicle and Road Traffic Act in relation to the regulation of e-bikes. The GNRSC head disclosed that this ongoing educational initiative is part of efforts to reduce the reoccurrence of e-bike related accidents.
In many instances, we speak of the young persons, young people losing their lives. And it is sad to know that it is an ongoing something. And it's not that effort is not being made to ensure that people use the road in a safe manner.
Section 2 of the Motor Vehicle and Road Safety Act was amended in May 2023 to regulate the use of electric cycles in Guyana and to make them subject to the same rules and regulations as motorcycles regarding registration and use. In July last year, the Guyana Revenue Authority began the registration of e-bikes. Among the requirements for registration, persons must be a holder of a valid driver's license. Tricia Sobers, Evening News.
Coming up, we are working every day to make the lives of all Guyanese better, says President Ali, and with over 20 persons already diagnosed, doctors to test for hemophilia in the local population. Do stay with us. More news ahead.
Transitions Light Intelligent Lenses. Pick your color. Choose your style. Available at Optique Vision Care.
The moment is coming. He has the ball. Will he make the shot? And he made it! Goal! This is the biggest win we've seen in ages. Feel the rush with every bet and win big. Play online at www.ibetgamesur.com.
With iBet Supreme, every game is your game. iBet to win with iBet Supreme.
Must be 18 years and older to bet.
Did you know that Gassi's Jet A1 fuel is a type of aviation fuel specially formulated for turbine engines? Jet A1 fuel is safer to handle and transport than any other fuel types due to its high flash point and low volatility. It also boasts a high energy content, enhancing aircraft performance and efficiency. So whether traveling for business or pleasure, choose GTU'S Jet A1 fuel for a safe, reliable, and efficient flight.
Experience more than award-winning speed. Way more. Get the best that LTE has to offer on Digicel, officially the fastest mobile network in Guyana. UCLA, the company behind Speedtest, recognizes Digicel as the best mobile network in Guyana. With the best LTE experience and the fastest data speeds, experience it all with Digicel, the award-winning network for everyone, everywhere.
Micro, small, medium enterprises can expect significant support in 2024. The sum of $450 million was allocated to the Small Business Development Fund and $331 million for the Small Business Bureau. This will provide for the disbursement of 100 loans and 1,362 grants to businesses. Additionally, 2,800 businesses will receive training in apiculture, farming, livestock, poultry rearing, and micro-enterprise. This and more are initiatives of the 2024 national budget, which is being supported by revenues earned from oil production.
Welcome back. You're watching the Evening News. On the occasion of Eid al-Fitr, President Dr. Irfan Ali has assured that the government is hard at work making everyone's lives better and that existing challenges are there to be confronted. The head of state also believes that in multicultural Guyana, the lessons of the holiday have bearing across all walks of life. Details in this Gerald Bryan report.
During Eid al-Fitr Salah observances on Wednesday, President Dr. Irfan Ali addressed Islam devotees at the Muslim Youth Organization of Guyana, MYO. According to President Ali, the lessons of Ramadan will help Guyanese to uplift the society they live in for the benefit of all. Further, he said it would help reinforce the values that shape Guyanese society.
And in a multi-ethnic, multicultural society like ours, it is important we are blessed with the shared religious values and contexts of each faith. If we apply those values and those contexts in our everyday life, in the way we treat each other, in the way we treat the environment, in the way we speak, in the way we uplift each other, then we will achieve what Prophet Muhammad ﷺ wanted us to achieve. In his final sermon, he chose a topic that is so important to the world today. In that final sermon, he could have chosen anything to speak about, but what did he concentrate on? He concentrated on the oneness of humanity. He concentrated on the fact that we are not different from each other, regardless of our color, regardless of which part of the world we are from, regardless of our status, that we are one of the same family.
President Ali further noted that though there are challenges, those challenges are not there to mope about but rather to confront. He assured that the government is working hard every day to make the lives of all Guyanese better.
On behalf of the government of Guyana, I assure you that we will continue to work hard every day, that we will continue to sacrifice every day. And yes, there are challenges in our society. There are challenges in different areas of governance. But those challenges are there not for us to mope about, but for us to confront and overcome, so that we can build a stronger society, a society in which we can deliver better to the people of this country.
Eid al-Fitr is a celebration which marks the end of Ramadan, a period where Muslims abstain from eating, smoking, and other activities from dawn to sunset. Muslims not only celebrate the end of fasting, but also give thanks for being able to maintain that fast throughout Ramadan. Jarrell Bryan, The Evening News.
The Guyana government is moving to establish a monitoring unit within all the ministries to oversee the execution of projects with the aim of holding contractors accountable for the quality of work they deliver, as well as ensuring that they complete their projects on time. Vanu Manikchand has the details.
Following a meeting between President Dr. Irfan Ali and project engineers from various ministries last week, units are now being established to assess the performance of contractors carrying out government projects. According to Attorney General Anil Nandal, a memorandum to this effect was issued to all ministries and state agencies last week.
Once unjustifiable delays, substandard works, and other such fundamental breaches of contract are observed, then clauses of the contracts dealing with notification of the contractors of the alleged breaches and remedial provisions dealing with sanctions such as liquidated damages, forfeiture of securities, and termination, etc., should be immediately invoked and activated.
To support the work of these units, a contract compliance unit has been established at the Attorney General Chambers.
The functions of this unit will be to provide the relevant legal advice and appropriate guidance when requested, and also to act when necessary, including the filing of legal proceedings when it is considered just and expedient to do so.
Since last week's meeting between President Ali and the project engineers, the Public Works Ministry is now moving to terminate the contract with Calco Guyana Incorporated for the Conversation Tree to Dennis Street Road expansion project. The $1.8 billion project was divided into sections, and while Jagmohan Construction and General Supplies has completed its portion of the works, the Calco contractors have reportedly abandoned the project. Meanwhile, despite having faced a number of delays, the Public Works Ministry has allowed Avinash Construction and Metal Works to keep the $475 million Cemetery Road project, since the company has significantly advanced works. Reporting for The Evening News, Vanu Manikchand.
With over 20 persons already diagnosed with hemophilia in Guyana, a group of doctors plans to host a pop-up exercise whereby persons can come and test for free to determine if they too have this condition. More in this Michael Henry report.
Hemophilia is an inherited bleeding disorder in which the blood does not clot properly. This can lead to spontaneous bleeding as well as bleeding following injuries or surgery. During a recent Edu-FM program, Dr. Jamal Shamsuddin and President of the Guyana Hemophilia Society, Lawrence Bash, delved into this condition, emphasizing its ongoing prevalence in Guyana and its impact on individuals.
So hemophilia is a rare genetic bleeding disorder. So normally what happens is that the body produces certain proteins when we have any injuries, right? Whether the injuries be spontaneous or traumatic. These proteins are called clotting factors, right? These clotting factors help, along with platelets, which is a type of blood cell, form clots along where these injuries, like for example blood vessel injuries or cuts or so on, they form clots along these injury lines. What happens in hemophilia, they inherit a faulty gene, so to speak, and because of that they're unable to make adequate and in some cases complete absence of certain clotting factors.
It was explained that hemophiliac patients in Guyana cannot administer medications on their own. However, Dr. Shamsuddin noted that those who are registered with the society can self-administer treatments due to training received by doctors.
That's one of the great things that I can say about our hemophiliac patients. Very few patients in Guyana can set their own IV lines and administer their own medication. But the majority of our patients can actually do that off of their own.
Wow, that's amazing, because I mean, I know for sure with an injection and you have to tie the hand in a manner and look for that vein.
Correct. And it's not just the regular intramuscular injection or subcutaneous, like for example diabetics with the insulin, they just find a patch of skin, they squeeze it and they put it in. You literally have to tie off the hand, find the vein, set the line, mix the factor, infuse, and all these kinds of things. And these patients do this every few days.
To coincide with World Hemophilia Day on April 17, the Hemophilia Society will be hosting an exercise aimed at testing persons for this condition.
1 in every 5,000 male birth.
I understand.
And in Guyana that would be approximately 50 to 75 patients. As your population grow, the statistics would raise, obviously.
Yeah.
We have to date 26 confirmed hemophiliacs, and if we're going to use the number of 75, then we still have a large gap to fill.
On World Hemophilia Day, April the 17th, the GPHC, through collaboration with GPHC and the Guyana Hemophiliac Society, will be having a table at the front at the East Street entrance, specifically to educate and screen and look for persons who may want to come forward and say they may be having some sort of a bleeding disorder, so that we can capture them and have them in our registry.
Michael Henry, The Evening News.
The Guyana National Bureau of Standards has sought to correct some misinformation that was recently related by one of its officers to a meeting of the Regional Democratic Council of Region 6. Our Berbice correspondent Andrew Carmichael tells us more.
An officer attached to the Guyana National Bureau of Standards, GNBS, had informed the Region 6 RDC that sellers are expected to have their scales verified by the organization before they are put on display for sale. The officer had informed that the Bureau charged a fee of $2,500 to have the scales checked and verified before going on sale, and that verification takes place twice annually. The officer had further revealed that unverified scales could be seized by the Bureau, and that the period for verifying scales came to an end on March 31st. He further explained that for scales purchased after that date, the Bureau will not put a verification stamp on them. In this case, he said customers can ask for a discount from sellers.
If you still wish to buy the scale, you will ask them for the discounted price of the stamp, because they would have had to have the stamp before they sell it.
Give it a discount.
It's not allowed for 100 kg, it would have been 2,500.
But in a subsequent statement, the GNBS says it does not sell scales or other measuring instruments and therefore cannot request that businesses provide any discount to buyers. The GNBS further clarified that in situations where new unverified commercial scales and other measuring instruments are offered for sale, members of the public are encouraged to inform the Bureau so that the necessary enforcement and corrective actions can be taken. The GNBS also noted that it conducts verification by means of instruments used in trading during the period January to March and July to September annually. However, vendors and other users of measuring instruments who miss those verification periods can still submit their measuring instruments to the GNBS officers countrywide for verification. Moreover, it said that importers and dealers can submit their new commercial measuring instruments to the GNBS for initial verification throughout the year before entering them for sale. Andrew Carmichael, The Evening News.
And now for a look at the bridge reports.
The Demerara Harbour Bridge will be closed to vehicular traffic on Thursday, April 11th, 2024 at 4 hours and then again at 19 hours for 1.5 hours. Meanwhile, the Berbice River Bridge is expected to be closed at 5 hours 35 on Thursday, April 11th, 2024, also for a period of 1.5 hours.
Guyana to host 11 games as RBL CPL 2024 fixtures revealed, and Mendonca praises team's consistency as Milo round of 16 set. Details of these stories and more coming up in the Sportcast, sponsored by MacCorp.
Complete control of power is in your hands with the ultimate U.S. brand Generac generators from Sylvie's Variety Store. Get the supply and reliability you need every time. From 1,800 to 8,000 watts of power for residential and commercial use. Recoil and electric start with gasoline engines. Generac generators from the authorized dealers Sylvie's Variety Store.
Not a single bar of service.
Not with us. Digicel officially has the best mobile coverage in Guyana. Ookla, the company behind Speedtest, recognizes Digicel as the network with the best mobile coverage in Guyana. Be it in Aishalton or in Etteringban, we got you covered.
Digicel, the award-winning network for everyone, everywhere.
Guys, I think I'm in love! Wow!
Yeah, I was looking at you too.
What? What are you talking about? I'm in the tiles. Where did you get them?
Oh, Mima Decor. Obviously the best tile store in Guyana. Come, let me take you there.
My kitchen, my bathroom, my floors. Mima Decor has everything. And the prices are great too.
So, yeah, want to have a date now?
We can build on that.
Looking to bring your dream home to reality? Or simply taking on a home improvement project? Then National Hardware Limited is where you should start. Let us put that touch to your home. Choose from over 1,000 Berger Paint original hues for any surface. We are known for our trusted brands such as Westinghouse, Philips, Sadco, Rubbermaid, Pyrex, Gibson Home, and so much more. National Hardware Limited, your do-it-best store. Located in downtown Georgetown and industrial site Rhymeville.
Welcome back. You're watching the evening news. We'll now shift our attention to some sport news. Guyana will host a whopping 11 games in 2024, according